The Netherlands is sending Claude with a largely French language entry called C'est la vie to Eurovision 2025, but will it be La Vie en Rose for our man Claude in the final? Let's review Eurovision. So the Netherlands is taking an interesting take this year. It's a while, I think, since they had a predominantly French entry at Eurovision. It's all inspired by things that his mother would tell him growing up. It's a very, very wholesome entry. Let's have a little. Actually, we can't play you C'est la vie because it's copyright protected. So let's forget all about that. Emily, what do you think?
Well, there we go. Can't even have a little preview. So that's what I based my whole view on that little tiny preview. What am I going? No, I'm joking. So I think he has a lovely voice. I think his voice is really suited to the song. I actually just find the song a bit boring, and I don't really have much to say on it. I'm kind of quite surprised at how high up it is in the bookies. I think there's nothing bad about it. It's perfectly nice to listen to. You've got a really catchy chorus with a kind of la 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 la. You feel like that has potential for kind of audience sing along. I find it doesn't really go anywhere. It doesn't feel like there's a kind of climactic moment. It's just it's fine and he sings it well. But I don't have much. It's fine. That's kind of basic in my view.
Yeah, I will echo all of that actually, because you're completely right. It doesn't build to anything in particular. I think I've come down on the side of being a bit more optimistic about it than you are, because I think certainly when I first listened to it, when it was leaked, which it's bad of Eurovision fans to leak Eurovision entries, don't do it. When it was leaked, I was walking down, maybe because it was sunny, I was walking past the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin. I was, oh, let's have a listen to it. And I was really impressed by it because it was again, it was something that it's the type of thing that you do hear in the charts nowadays. And I think it was well produced. It was simple but really effective. As you say, his vocal really works with the song. And I think the message is really nice to it. There's a few entries this year about your relationship with your mothers. And I think this is significantly better than the French entry, just saying, but I'm not a fan of the French entry anyway. And I know it's had some criticism for, oh, but the French bits in it are like really stereotypical, like c'est comme ci, c'est comme ça, la vie en rose. I don't think that's a problem at all, actually, because I'm fluent in French. I get all of it, but even people who don't speak French will recognize things like that. They'll have heard of phrases like that. They'll know what they mean, and you can piece together the meaning of the song even if you don't speak the language properly. And I think that actually they've done that really intelligently and really consciously, and I think that works. What I will say is, though, having been impressed by it first listen, second listen, third listen, a bit like you, I've got quite bored of it quite quickly. I think because it's so simple and because it doesn't really build anywhere and because it doesn't have that many aspects to it, and it's actually quite a short song, I think it's very two-dimensional. There's not that much depth to it. Once you get it, you get it, and then there's not that much else to explore with it. And the great entries, again, Tattoo, I'll listen to it now and still hear new things in it. And it's like 2 years old. This, I kind of, I feel like I know everything I need to know about this entry, and that is a problem. I don't think this is a vintage entry. Let's put it that way. If this ends up coming top five, we are not going to be talking about this entry this time next year. For instance, it's not a classic. It's not a classic Dutch entry at all. The Netherlands have sent far, far better than this and done worse. But I think in a mix of a pretty poor year, but also actually technically, even though it's simple, what it sets out to do, it does very well. I actually think this could do quite well, but not a vintage Dutch entry, I don't think. Well, it is performing 13th in the first semi-final, quite late on in the show. Is that going to help or hinder it? Is it going to qualify? How will it do in the final? What's your score out of 10?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll qualify fine. I think it'll probably be top five in the in the semi-final, I'd have thought. And I think it's probably a top 10 in the final, just because I feel like it's had a fair bit of kind of hype around it, and that'll kind of give it a boost. But as I said, it's not my fave, so I am going to give it a 6.
Harsher than I was
Wondering
expecting.
whether to add a 0.5 on the end. No, I'm not gonna.
Okay,
I
fine.
don't listen to it. I don't. It's not in my Eurovision rotation. If it comes on, I skip.
That's interesting. Okay, that is a problem. That is a problem. Well, fair enough then. So you're going to give it a 6. I'm going to be a bit more optimistic. I will give it a 7.5, I think, because I just I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt and remember how I thought of it for the first few listens, and I was impressed with it. And that's how most Eurovision viewers will engage with it. The first listen, they're like, this is impressive. It's not a vintage Dutch entry, is the end of my review. It will do well. I can absolutely see it coming in the top five. Top 10's more likely, but I would not be surprised if it finishes top five because I think the juries will respect it. It'll do all right enough with the televote, and I think almost accidentally it will finish top five, without anybody really intending it to. But I would be surprised if this doesn't finish top 10. Let's put it that way. So yeah, but 7.5 for me. So we're a rare break in opinion between the two of us. Which side are you on? Are you more optimistic, less optimistic than us? Do let us know in the comments. If you like us, please do subscribe. You'll hit the bell. We've only got a few reviews left. You'll see the rest of those. You get notified every single time they're uploaded. And we're also in podcast form and on TikTok. We're everywhere. We're like a plague. I think it's the second time I've referenced a plague in comparison to our channel this year. Oh well. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.